Truck models are evolving fast, making it essential for buyers to stay ahead of the curve to avoid costly mistakes. With every new release, manufacturers promise upgrades, but not every truck lives up to the hype. Some come with hidden issues, poor value, or outright deal breakers. So let's break it down. Here are the worst pickup trucks to buy in 2025. Number 1. 2025 Toyota Tundra. The Toyota Tundra has a legacy of toughness, reliability, and sheer endurance. But something has shifted. The 2025 model? It's raising eyebrows for all the wrong reasons. The heart of the Tundra, the twin-turbo 3.4-liter V6, should be a powerhouse. On paper, it delivers 389 horsepower and 479 pound-foot of torque in the standard version, while the hybrid variant cranks up to 437 horsepower. Strong numbers, right? But real-world reports are surfacing about serious engine issues, including manufacturing debris left inside the engine during production. That's a potential disaster. Some drivers are already seeing failures, similar to what plagued the 2022 and 2023 models. Toyota acknowledged and recalled earlier models, replacing entire engines. This isn't just about a few bad apples. The previous recalls addressed issues where metal shavings caused catastrophic engine failure. Now reports from owners claim the same problems are creeping into the newest models, and it doesn't stop there. Towing capacity maxes out at 12,000 pounds, which sounds competitive, but compared to the Ford F-150's 13,500 pounds, with the EcoBoost V6, or even the Silverado's 13,300 pounds, the Tundra doesn't quite hit the mark. Plus, fuel economy isn't helping its case. EPA estimates put it at 17 miles per gallon city, 23 miles per gallon highway for the standard model. That's not terrible, but it's not impressive either, especially when trucks like the F-150 hybrid can get up to 25 miles per gallon combined. So here's the question. Why risk a truck that might need a full engine replacement within the first few years? Toyota might eventually address these concerns, but as of now, the 2025 Tundra is looking more like a gamble than a guaranteed workhorse. Number 2. 2025 Jeep Gladiator. The Jeep Gladiator is supposed to be the ultimate blend of off-road capability and pickup practicality. It's rugged, it's adventurous, and it's got Jeep's legendary 4x4 DNA. But there's a catch. Several, actually. The Gladiator might look like the perfect truck for adventure lovers, but its long list of mechanical issues is making owners think twice. The most terrifying issue? The infamous death wobble. Jeep Wrangler owners have been dealing with it for years, and now it's haunting Gladiator owners too. At higher speeds, particularly when hitting bumps or potholes, the steering wheel can violently shake, making it feel like the truck is about to shake itself apart. For some drivers, the only way to regain control is to slow down drastically or even stop entirely. Jeep has addressed this issue with steering dampener replacements in past models, but complaints are still rolling in for the 2025 Gladiator. And then there's the electrical system, arguably one of the biggest weak spots. Owners are reporting failing auxiliary batteries, glitchy infotainment systems, and random computer shutdowns. It's a potential safety risk. Some drivers have even experienced failures with the backup camera and adaptive cruise control, both of which are essential for highway driving. Then there's the drivetrain. Reports of rear differential sensor failures are piling up, causing sudden power loss or erratic acceleration. Some owners have found themselves stuck in either two-wheel or four-wheel drive with no way to switch. That's a huge problem for a truck marketed as the ultimate off-roader. Fuel economy isn't helping its case either, at an estimated 17 miles per gallon city and 22 highway. With the standard 3.6-liter V6, it's falling behind competitors like the Ford Ranger, which offers up to 26 miles per gallon highway. And let's not forget about towing. The Gladiator maxes out at 7,650 pounds, which sounds decent, but the Ford Ranger and Chevrolet Colorado both offer more, with 7,500 pounds and 7,700 pounds respectively, while also being more refined on the road. Bottom line, the Gladiator looks cool, but its long list of issues makes it a risky buy in 2025. Number 3. 2025 Hyundai Santa Cruz. Hyundai shook up the truck market with the Santa Cruz, offering a compact pickup that blends SUV comfort with truck utility. It's stylish, it's city-friendly, and it's a fresh take on what a truck can be, but for 2025, things are looking shaky. One of the biggest concerns? A dangerous transmission issue. Hyundai recently issued a recall for 6,905 Santa Cruz models because the gear shifter can disengage from park without pressing the brake pedal. That means your truck could roll away on its own. Let that sink in. A parked Santa Cruz could suddenly decide to take off, turning into a runaway hazard. Hyundai is addressing the issue with a simple wiring fix, but for a brand new model, that's not a great start. Tech lovers are also feeling let down. Hyundai removed key infotainment features that made the Santa Cruz stand out. The new split-screen setup no longer lets drivers view the map and radio info at the same time, and the digital speedometer is now buried within menu options. Sounds like small details, but for drivers who relied on these features daily, it's a frustrating downgrade. And then there's the controversial facial recognition system. Designed to ensure drivers are paying attention, it uses an infrared camera to monitor eye movement. The problem? It doesn't work properly if you're wearing sunglasses. Some drivers have reported that their cruise control turns off completely because the system can't see them, and Hyundai hasn't offered a solution yet. Finally, towing capacity is underwhelming. Even with the available turbocharged 2.5-liter engine, it maxes out at 5,000 pounds, putting it far below mid-size rivals. And for those who need to tow, Hyundai still doesn't offer an official trailer wiring harness, forcing owners to hunt for unreliable aftermarket options. The Santa Cruz had promise, but the 2025 model feels like a step backward. Number 4. 2025 Ford F-150 Lightning. The Ford F-150 Lightning was supposed to be the future of trucks, all electric, packed with tech, and built on the foundation of America's best-selling pickup. But as 2025 rolls in, the Lightning is hitting some serious roadblocks. The biggest issue? A major recall affecting nearly 12,000 trucks due to a steering failure. Ford discovered that some Lightnings left the factory with improperly torqued ball joint nuts on the upper control arm. If one of these fails, the truck could suddenly veer off course without warning. One driver experienced this at highway speeds, sending their Lightning into a side rail. Ford is addressing the problem with inspections and new hardware, but for an $80,000 vehicle, that's a scary defect. Then there's demand, or lack of it. Ford recently announced it's pausing production of the Lightning due to slowing sales. That's not a great sign for long-term resale value, and while the truck delivers solid performance, with up to 580 horsepower and 775 pound-foot of torque, its real-world range is struggling. Cold weather drains the battery fast, and towing drastically reduces the 320-mile range. And let's talk price. The base Lightning Pro started at around $40,000 when it launched, but now the cheapest model is over $50,000. That's a big jump, especially when buyers can get a gas-powered F-150 with better range, more towing capability, and none of the electric infrastructure headaches. The Lightning had potential, but between steering defects, slowing sales, and a price that keeps climbing, it's becoming harder to justify as the go-to electric truck. Number 5. 2025 Ford Maverick. The Ford Maverick was the perfect truck for buyers who wanted something small, affordable, and practical. It was a no-nonsense workhorse, offering solid utility without unnecessary frills. But the 2025 model? It's a completely different story. Ford took everything people loved about the Maverick, its simplicity, its price, its function, and flipped it upside down. The first issue? The design. The old Maverick had big, functional headlights and durable plastic trim. Now the headlights are thinner, less effective, and the lower trims are stuck with halogen bulbs that just don't cut it. The once practical styling has been replaced with something that looks sleeker but isn't nearly as useful. Then there's the technology overload. Ford went all in on bigger screens but removed physical buttons for things like AC controls. Now, adjusting the temperature means digging through touch menus, which is frustrating and dangerous while driving. The fully digital instrument cluster looks fancy, but does a small truck like the Maverick really need it? It feels like Ford is trying too hard to push modern tech where it isn't needed. The trim lineup is another mess. What used to be a simple choice between XL, XLT, and Lariat has been flooded with unnecessary additions. The trimmer trim pretends to be an off-roader, but it's still based on the Ford Escape, so it's not really built for rough terrain. Then there's the Lobo, which tries to be a sporty street truck, but actually makes less power than last year's model. And to top it off, the hybrid now has all-wheel drive, which sounds cool, but doesn't really fit the Maverick's original purpose. The final nail in the coffin? The price. The base XL, which used to be a budget-friendly $24,000, now starts at $27,000, more than last year's XLT. The higher trims have jumped by nearly $3,000. And if you want the Tremor or Lobo, you're looking at over $40,000. That puts the Maverick dangerously close to the Ford Ranger, which is bigger, more powerful, and a better truck overall. Number 6. 2024 Nissan Titan. After years of struggling to compete, the Nissan Titan is officially being discontinued after 2024, and honestly, it's no surprise. For starters, the engine options are non-existent. Other trucks offer multiple choices: a fuel-efficient option, a powerful V8, maybe even a hybrid. The Titan? Just one. The 5.6-liter V8 making 400,000 horsepower and 413 pound-foot of torque. If that's not the engine you want, too bad. Then there's towing. The Titan maxes out at 9,320 pounds. That sounds decent until you compare it to the competition. The Ram 1500 can tow 12,750 pounds. The Chevy Silverado, 13,300 pounds. Even the Ford F-150 easily clears 13,000 pounds. If you need serious capability, the Titan just doesn't stack up. The interior is another weak point. While other brands have stepped up their game, offering high-tech cabins with premium materials, the Titan feels stuck in the past. The touchscreen is small, the materials feel cheap, and while it gets the job done, it lacks the refinement that buyers expect in 2025. And let's not forget its history of mechanical issues. Over the years, the Titan has had everything from faulty transmissions to fuel pump failures. Some models even stalled while driving. Nissan cleaned up some of these problems in recent years, but the damage was already done. Buyers lost trust. Nissan is moving away from full-size trucks, and the Titan's exit feels overdue. In a market dominated by Ford, Chevy, and Ram, it just couldn't keep up. Number 7. 2025 Hummer EV Pickup. The Hummer EV promised to be the future of electric trucks. Big power, insane off-road capability, a bold all-electric design, but now that the 2025 models are hitting the road, early owners are running into serious problems. One of the biggest issues? Super Cruz. This is GM's hand-free driving system, a key selling point for road trip lovers. But for some buyers, it simply doesn't work. Owners have spent hours on the phone with dealerships, OnStar, and GM only to be passed around with no real solution. A high-tech truck that can't activate one of its biggest features? That's a problem. Charging is another headache. The Hummer EV uses GM's Ultium system, but the Level 2 PowerUp Plus home charger has been failing for some owners. Some have to reset their entire breaker just to reconnect their charger every single day. When a $100,000 truck can't even charge properly, something's wrong. Even simple things are causing trouble. The truck comes with a NEMA 14-50 charging cord, but finding an adapter for different plugs has been a struggle for some owners. GM offers multiple charging cables, but you have to hunt them down separately. For a truck this expensive, buyers expected a smoother experience. The Hummer EV pickup was supposed to be a game changer. Instead, it's proving that even the most advanced electric trucks can have major problems right out of the gate. That's the list. 7 trucks that prove bigger and newer don't always mean better. If you're looking for a smart buy, these are the worst pickup trucks to buy in 2025.